Hey guys, welcome to Zelda Dungeon. This is Zelda News Updates. I'm your host, Bastion. Let's get to those updates. Basically, this is part 2 of the everything we know about Hyrule Warriors, and that is because literally as I was uploading that video, Nintendo dropped a whole bunch of new information on us, and I was like, I'll just save it for whatever else they reveal throughout the week and do another video for you guys. So there might end up being like even a whole nother one of these that will air like next weekend because maybe they'll have unleashed even more details. But anyways, let's get to the new ones that we have. First of all, if you're wondering about voice acting in Hyrule Warriors, it turns out that it is not going to be regular voice acting, but just Zelda-style voice acting, where it's grunts and groans, moans, all of those intonations, no actual words. I'm not surprised, you're probably not surprised. It's what we kind of all expected. Turns out the translation of the main villain's name is not what we were getting at first, but is actually Cia, C-I-A, a much better name in my opinion, a much better spelling, looks better. We also found out that there will be rupees in the game, just like in usual Zelda games. You kill some enemies, might get some rupees, you use those rupees to upgrade your weapons and whatnot, so that's pretty cool. Kind of more of a Skyward Sword approach where you can actually upgrade the weapons that you have. That's going to be awesome to actually be able to use those rupees in that kind of way. As far as the timeline placement, it's still a little murky. A lot of people assumed that this was pre-Skyward Sword because of Link's design. With the scarf and whatnot, looks kind of like the Link from the prehistory of Skyward Sword, the manga that Nintendo officially allowed to be released, that sort of tells the backstory of before Skyloft arose into the air. So a lot of people are thinking that was this, but it didn't make much sense because we already have a royal family in place and the Triforce and all of this Hyrule Castle, so it can't be pre-Skyward Sword, it had to be post-Skyward Sword, but a lot of people were looking at this piece of art from the game and noticed Skyloft is up there, of course, so that would be post-Skyward Sword, right? But there's one problem, which is that the goddess statue is up in Skyloft, and spoilers if you haven't finished Skyward Sword yet, at the end of the game, the goddess statue now rests in Hyrule. It's what becomes the Temple of Time in Ocarina of Time. So, what is it doing back up in the sky? This has caused a lot of people to speculate that perhaps there's going to be space-time stuff going on. And the reason why is because we learned more details about the story. The prehistory of Hyrule Warriors is that there was some sort of previous iteration of Link, probably after Skyward Sword, before this game, and there was some kind of evil, and that evil was divided up into 4 parts, strange 4 and not 3, and 3 of those parts were sealed away in some kind of space-time vortex, which is very sci-fi sounding for a Zelda game. And then one of those, the 4th piece, was sealed with the Master Sword. So, since there's the space-time stuff, my guess, and this is just pure speculation, my guess is that this is going to enable them to bring in characters from all across the Zelda universe. We'll have characters from probably Wind Waker, we'll have characters from Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, all because there's like the space-time vortex thing going on, where it's going to enable all of these characters to be playable, which backs up another quote from Mr. Numa, which is he was shocked at specifically the number of how many playable characters there will be, but also at who some of these characters were. And the guess of many out there is that this is going to be a strange, weird game where you're going to be able to have all of these different characters from each of the different Zelda games all interacting through the space-time issue, so that's going to be pretty interesting if it turns out to be the case. And one other quick little tidbit is that with all of these playable characters, what about Princess Zelda, right? There was that whole thing last year where fans were petitioning Nintendo to make a Zelda game where Zelda's the main character, and And you know, some people are really interested in playing Zelda as a main character or just as a playable character at all. And this seems like the perfect opportunity. If you've got this huge cast of playable characters, surely Zelda will be one of those. If not Zelda, then Sheik or something, right? Not the case. Zelda's been captured. According to the story information that we got, typical Zelda fashion, Zelda's captured. Your mission is to rescue Zelda. However, going back to that whole space-time thing, well sure, maybe Hyrule Warriors Zelda's been captured, but maybe that doesn't prevent Sheik or Tetra or whomever to come through the space-time portal thing and help out and be a playable character, so that might be a way to get around that. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that's it for this episode of Zelda News Update. Stay tuned to Zelda Dungeon for either another Zelda News Update with new details, or we're just going to have all kinds of stuff for you here on the channel while we are at E3. Mosties and I will be at E3 getting game footage of the various demos of Hyrule Warriors and our impressions and some interviews and whatnot. And also, if you want my own personal thoughts and opinions about Hyrule Warriors and the details that we have so far, feel free to check out this video over on my own channel. So definitely stay tuned here. See you then. Bye, guys.